Hey there, welcome to another Credit Card News live stream. It's good to be here. Oh yeah. So, Danny, I want to thank you for the super chat. I hate that you have to make me say this every time. I have to keep talking about iPhones here. So you said sending some love through my iPhone 14 Pro Max in deep purple. I like that you put the color in there. Well, listen, congratulations on getting your new phone, on the new slightly improved iPhone, you know, staying locked in with all the other people who think just like you. You know, I just want to say real quick, if you're on Team iPhone, I've been like workshopping this idea. Why do you know you're on a winning team, of course, here in America. Most people have iPhones now, but do you really want to be on the do you really want less innovation, less competition? Do you just want to be on the same team as everybody else? Doesn't that get old? Don't you want something different, you know? Leon, what's up? How you doing? Cheryl, welcome back. It's good to see you. F. Davis, how's it going? Evening, good evening. Shanika, how you doing? It's good to see everybody here. So, enough of this iPhone talk though. Redhead Fred said that I just requested a credit limit increase on my Zelles Comenity card for the first time in over a year, and it triggered a hard pull. Capital hard pull. I did get a $3,000 credit limit increase though, so it's just off for Comenity to do that. So congratulations on your $3,000 increase. That's great. I know a lot of people are really down. They kind of you know, they diminish the store cards. But listen, if you shop at that store all the time, then go for it. I always say, you know, I'm a big advocate for the Amazon store card, even though I have the really basic, you know, Synchrony bank issued card. I would prefer to have the Chase issued card, but that's neither here nor there. Listen, 5% back at a store that you spend a lot of money at, that's going to be a lot of cash back in your pocket. Miss Barton, how's it going? Welcome back. It's good to see you. I always support. So let's get into the stories here for the week. Let me pull this up. Pull it right on up. Boom. Okay, there we go. So Americans continue to pile on more and more debt. American consumers continue to cope with rising prices and prop up the sagging economy using their credit cards. Total consumer debt rose another $23 billion in July to a record of $4.6 trillion, according to the latest data from the Federal Reserve. On an annual basis, consumer debt rose by 6.2%, moderating somewhat from the last few months as the CPI cooled things thanks to a drop in energy prices. The Federal Reserve consumer debt figures include credit card debt, student loans, and auto loans, but do not factor in mortgage debt. When you include mortgages, U.S. consumers are buried under more than $16.2 trillion in debt. Listen, people, this seems to be a weekly thing. There's more and more reports that people have no problem piling on more debt on their credit cards. It's spinning like there's no tomorrow. Listen, it's just a bad deal. It's got to come to a head at some point, right? So you guys continue spending like you do, because I know you're very responsible and that you're paying your statement balances at least. Most of you are paying, you know, your credit card bills weekly and some before your billing cycle closing date, which is awesome. It's even better than what I do. Next, so we have the CFPB, which is a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, plans to regulate buy now, pay later companies. U.S. Consumer Bureau plans to start regulating them. Companies like Klarna and Affirm, due to worries their fast-growing financial products are harming consumers. The watchdog, which does not currently oversee buy now, pay later companies on products, will issue guidance or a rule to align sector standards with those of credit card companies. That makes complete sense. I don't know why they wouldn't already have jurisdiction over buy now, pay later. It's a credit, a short-term credit loan product. The development will be a blow for the sector, which is already under pressure due to rising funding costs and lower American consumer spending during soaring inflation. So yeah, if you haven't noticed, in the news, I think Klarna dipped and their stock price dipped like 30% or something. And so they're really having a tough time of things. And I know they're getting squeezed from both ends because even Apple is set to unveil some new features with Apple Pay or the Apple Card, where they're going to allow you to have like buy now, pay later functionality. And so these smaller companies are always at risk of being kind of, eaten up, or their lunches might be eaten by bigger companies that just decide, hey, we're gonna buy your competitor, a smaller version, build them up, and introduce a product similar to yours and beat you out because we have, the brand recognition, and we can preload these features right within the Apple Wallet. So it just makes sense. People are just going to use what's already on their phone preloaded, and they trust Apple to begin with. And speaking of Apple, let me speak on Apple real quick, because I've seen some interesting information recently about, how Apple is very big on privacy, right? I'm seeing some information that the reason they have a big dog in the fight with privacy, because that can eliminate other competing platforms for ad dollars. So Apple wants to exclusively market and advertise to you and be able to control that funnel of money. And it's looking like that's their model. So they want to demonize other companies for, encroaching on and betraying your privacy. But then they're going to go ahead and do their own version of that. That's what it seems like they're trying to do. Next story, Treasury will warn White House that crypto needs major regulations. This is a no-brainer. The crypto market definitely needs regulating. So the Treasury Department will warn the White House that cryptocurrencies could pose significant financial risks that outweigh their benefits unless the government rolls out major new regulations. I think we've seen, does anybody know someone that lost a significant amount of money trading crypto, investing in crypto? I don't consider that investing. According to two people familiar with the matter, Treasury reports will highlight the economic danger of cryptocurrencies in several key areas, including the fraud risk they pose for investors. Treasury's assessments conclude that cryptocurrencies do not yet pose a stability risk to the broader financial system, but that the situation could change rapidly. So it looks like, it seems like everybody and their mother and their grandmother was trading crypto over the past year, but maybe they just didn't have, these are small accounts, small time funds. Maybe the older groups that control the most of the money, and the large companies didn't have that much exposure to it, but they don't seem that concerned. I guess this is the reason why the government hasn't gotten involved yet, because there hasn't been enough money in that market. Leon, what's up, brother? You said, fortunately, I don't know anyone personally. I'm still good on the whole crypto thing. Yeah, listen, I'm good too. I'm good. I never, actually, I'm going to tell you this. I actually bought a Bitcoin back in 2016. I sold it. So every time I tell that to someone, they're like, did you hold on to it? Like that's your ticket out, is that one Bitcoin. But I said, listen, I was just dabbling. I was just trying to see how it worked. And there's no such thing as passive income and quick money. That doesn't exist. People don't understand that. But, oh, F Davis. Oh my God. F Davis. Whoa. He said my friend lost $20,000 when that crypto company crashed a few months ago, but he recovered. So how did he recover? Okay. So this was like there's some silver lining here. Cause I thought this was a cataclysmic, ending here? How did he recover? Did he recover like 19,000 or did he recover at 5,000? That's interesting. Yeah, I want to hear more about that. So the average credit score didn't go up this year for the first time in over a decade. It's probably having to do with more people spending larger percentages of their available credit balance. So credit scores saw a jump during the first year of the pandemic. Now, amid high inflation and rising consumer debt, they're holding steady, and that's not necessarily a good thing. The national average FICO credit score sits at 716, which is still an all-time high, but is unchanged from a year ago, according to a new report from FICO. The average credit score has stayed steady in part due to an uptick in missed payments. As of April, just over 15% of the population had dealt with a 30-plus day past due bill in the past year. That's a significant portion, 15%. Then there's the rising level of consumer debt. The average credit card utilization was 31% as of April. Listen, let me tell you about the 30% rule. This fake 30% rule, this is one of the big misnomers that's been spread all over the internet. This might require like a whole series of videos, but 30% is not the mark you want to hit. You want to be below 10% for your best possible FICO score. They tell you that on the FICO score website itself. So this whole 30% rule, I don't know where this is like exactly coming from, but it keeps getting perpetuated. You see blog post after blog post telling you 30% rule. So the average credit card utilization was 31% as of April, up from 30% as of April 2021. And finally, more consumers are getting credit cards, taking new credit activity back to pre-pandemic levels. Now, that's interesting because, you know, I feel like people use their money and their credit in secret. It's like, I know you guys, you're probably very relatively open, and you see the, you know, the types of in our area, in our community as a whole, we're kind of open about finances. We discuss it. It's good to look at your bank account. It's good to talk about what you're doing with your money because you can learn things and you can know where you're at on a weekly basis. A lot of people just kind of close their eyes and they pretend like it's not there, like they don't have bills. And it's surprising to me because usually the people are very hush hush when you ask them about credit cards. What are you using? And you don't want to say. So it seems like there's this kind of stigma around credit cards where people are kind of scared. They think it's a scam and they're just out to get you, but everybody seems to be signing up. How was that? All right, next we have Goldman's Apple Card business has a surprising subprime problem. This is pretty telling, and I think you could probably see this coming. The weakest American borrowers are starting to miss payments and default on their loans, and that is showing up at a surprising place, Goldman Sachs. While competitors like Bank of America enjoy repayment rates are near record levels, Goldman's loss rate on credit card loans hit 2.93% in the second quarter. That's the worst among the big U.S. card issuers and well above subprime lenders, according to September 6th note from JPMorgan. More than a quarter of Goldman's card loans have gone to consumers with FICO scores below 660, according to filings. That could expose the bank to higher losses if the economy experiences a downturn, as expected by many forecasters. So listen, there's a reason why the Apple Card is a good starter card. I have it always up against the Discover It card because most people can get accepted for that card. It even says in their terms of service that all you need, they accept people at or above the 600 credit score. And they even accept people below that when they notice maybe they see some indicators from you that maybe you have potential at below 600. And they'll give you, a few guidelines. You hit these few marks, 2 or 3 marks, and improve yourself over like a 4-month period, then they'll accept you. So they already had one of the lowest requirements in the game. So it's not surprising that they're ending up in this situation. Listen, I like what they're doing for people, offering them an opportunity, but now it's showing up. They're having a loss rate that's pretty high here. Yo, Raul said, what's up, Raul? The Apple Card is like the new Capital One. I wouldn't go that. I mean, in respect for of offering credit cards to, you know, lower scores. The good thing about the Apple Card is, one, that they show you your credit limit before you get fully approved. Some people get approved without even a hard pull. And the biggest thing is that they grow with you. If you use your Apple Card as your daily driver, your daily carry, they will increase your limit most of the time automatically. You don't even have to ask for it, you know? So I wouldn't quite go there. A lot of people have a lot of bad experiences with Capital One, but I see what you're saying. So credit card companies will adopt new sales code for guns transactions. So this had a lot of hoopla, a lot of, you know, there was a lot of controversy. This hit all the political, you know, what did I say there? All the politics circuits. It had all the late night, you know what I mean? Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, everybody's favorite, right? U.S. credit card giant said they will implement a new merchant category code for the nation's gun retailers, which gun control activists say will help flag potential mass shooters and gun traffickers. The International Organization of Standardization, that's a mouthful, based in Geneva, approved the code on Friday. The system will separately categorize sales at gun and ammunition stores, which advocates say can help track suspicious transactions of firearms and ammunition. Nearly every retail item has a merchant category code. Prior to Friday's decision by the ISO, gun store sales were classified under a general merchandise or sporting goods category. Merchant codes track where a consumer used a credit card but won't flag what specific items were purchased. Gun rights activists have argued the code would unfairly surveil legal gun purchases. Now, here's the thing. I'm not sure. It depends on how they implement this policy, you know, who gets, you know, put on what list, who gets contacted, what kind of charges are going to be brought up. I don't think anything concrete has come out. But it's funny because to see people talk, it's interesting to see like the mainstream discuss topics that we know very well, merchant category codes. Like, this is like a foreign concept. They don't really understand that they didn't invent merchant category codes to track gun sales. The codes are there, you know, they're very important for like the city custom cash card, where you get top, you know, 5% in your top, you know, spending category. Your Discover 8 card, it's got rotating bonus categories, and you got your Chase Freedom Flex as well, which we're going to discuss later. But it could end up in a bad place if they take it too far. You know, I do understand that a lot of these guns that are used in the mass shootings in particular, maybe I shouldn't even mention that, are being purchased by law-abiding citizens. They're legal gun purchases. But it's tough. This is a tough one. What do you think? Ask me. Do you guys think this is a good move by the ISO and by the government? Should they track gun purchases and ammunition purchases in this way? Do you think it's going to be effective? Let me know. I have to think about this more. Shanika said, it's a legal gun purchase. I don't mind them seeing. So Shanika doesn't have anything to hide. Shanika's not buying extended clips. You know? May or may, you know, if she is, it's going to be a legal purchase. Johnny Jimenez, what's up, buddy? You said, I'm not concerned about how a gun purchase codes. Let me make this smaller here. You said, I'm not concerned about how a gun purchase codes with a credit card. I'm way more concerned about the ATF form 4473 we all have to fill out when purchasing a firearm legally. Okay, so I'm not familiar with that form, but you think that form encroaches on your, like it kind of goes a step too far, crosses the line on your rights on the Second Amendment? Yeah. Hope I got that right. I'm not familiar with that. You have to enlighten me on that. So, but this is not like it's not a top concern for you. Anthony Scott, you said, as a legal gun owner, I have no issue with this. So you don't think it's going to be a problem? You're not going to get a phone call say, hey, what are you doing buying this much ammunition at this time, Anthony? What are you doing? What's really going on? Maybe we need to knock on your door, Anthony. Is that, you're not concerned about that? Shanika said, the item at home all the time is kept in a safe. We have other things to worry about. Okay. All right. So there's no big deal. No big deal. All right. So Walmart, Target urge lawmakers to pass bill taking aim at Visa and MasterCard fees. So more than 1,600 merchants, including Walmart and Target, are urging lawmakers to pass legislation that aims to break the hold that Visa and MasterCard have over the credit card market. The bill, which Senator Richard Durbin and Roger Marshall introduced in July, would give merchants the right to route many credit card payments over networks other than Visa and MasterCard. We talked about this maybe 2 other times. In a letter this week to all members of Congress, the merchants said the proposed legislation would increase competition, leading to a reduction in the fees they pay when they accept credit cards. Listen, it might have some, I'm always for competition in pretty much any form. Competition is great for the consumer. I'm sure there's some way that we're going to benefit if that happens. I mean, they might not be able to give as large of a sign-up bonus if they're losing money on their end. They might have to phase out some cards that are not as profitable as others. Guys, do me a big favor. Do yourself a big favor. Like and subscribe, or just like the video, the stream. Get the stream out here, out to a further reach in YouTube. If you could just like the video for me, I would greatly appreciate it. All right. So 0 down payment, no credit check mortgages could be coming to a city near you. A mortgage without a down payment, it might now be possible for some. Bank of America is launching a new program to help first-time homeowners in certain neighborhoods. The program offers mortgages with 0 down payment, 0 closing costs, and no minimum credit score. Instead of a credit check, it considers other factors like paying rent and utilities on time. The bank is doing a test run in major cities that are predominantly Black and Hispanic. The plan will be rolled out in Los Angeles, Dallas, Detroit, Charlotte. Anyone living in those neighborhoods, regardless of race, can apply. The program is based on how much people make and their location. So I'm sure there's some other programs. I know I was not a member, but I went to a class or two for NADA. If you're familiar with that, they kind of got you. They were a program where you learned about how to responsibly afford a home and pay for it, and how the buying process went. You went to classes and they gave you a better rate. So I know about programs like that. This is interesting. I'm not too familiar with the home buying mortgage market, but this seems like a good thing on the surface level. I'm sure they're going to make their money in some way. But yeah, Shanika said that's exactly what I was alluding to. It sounds like a trap. They're going to reap that money on the back end of the mortgage. F. David said, didn't something like that cause the housing crisis in 2008? Yeah, what was it? I'm thinking mortgage-backed securities. Can't remember the exact technical term. But yeah, it's the lending that they classified lenders, or unqualified or less qualified lenders. They basically moved their grade levels up. So they were basically lending out money to the wrong people. They were too free with that. Dark Dude 2000. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Dark Dude, shout out. Yeah, I like that. I love that term. Yeah, I always love terms like that. I have to like ninja mortgages, no income, no job. I just love these acronyms and little funny, these sayings. I gotta commit some of these to memory so I can just like pull them out my bag at any point in time. I love that. Thanks, Richard. So next up we have California says Amazon ruined. It absolutely ruined online shopping. Sues it for driving up prices. Wow. So Amazon is again under fire for its policies, allegedly forbidding its online retailers from selling their products for lower prices on other sites and retail platforms. Critics say that this led to years of higher prices for consumers instead of allowing markets to determine fair prices. Last year, the District of Columbia sued Amazon for the same reason and lost in court in March of 2022. But then in April, the Department of Justice issued a statement in support of DC's case. And shortly after, DC filed to appeal this August. Now, California Attorney General has piled on more pressure, announcing a lawsuit against Amazon for allegedly blocking price competition in California too. So let's see, what are they really accused of here? They forbid online retailers from selling their products for lower prices on other websites. They forbid it. So listen, if the way that I'm taking this, right? And I love Amazon. I used to sell there. I buy a lot. I'm sure a lot of you, I think we discussed this before. Like I even threw eBay out there just as like a Hail Mary. I threw it out there, see what happens. Everybody shot it down. They're like, no, get eBay out of here. It's Amazon. I do want to give them benefit of the doubt, but a strong worded, hey, it's probably not good if you do this, is different from, hey, we're going to take you off of our website, or we're going to make things like unfavorable for you. If they did that, then that's, definitely worth taking them to court over, because you can't do that. But listen, when these companies get big and there's less and less competition, just like Apple, they're going to do things that are, that are bad for the consumer. And I just want to say, Apple heads out here, USB Type-C, that charging port, what's up with that? You don't use the same port that you use for your iPad and your MacBook and all the other products. I get new products every day. They all use the same charging port, but not Apple. What's that about? Maybe about money? Danny Boy said, I love Amazon, but they're not exempt from raising prices like everyone, like every other company. So when I see the prices marked up, I'm not going to be surprised. Yeah. That's very practical. Very sensible of you. Leon Keek said, what does Apple use? Apple uses the Lightning port. So the Lightning port. They've been using that for what, like 15 years now? Yeah. Always, all the iPhone users are always looking for two different chargers. They can never get it right. They're all frustrated trying to connect to, they got a USB-A, they got a USB-C, they got a Lightning port. What do you do with all these ports? They're all different. That's not very user-friendly, Apple. All right, I'm gonna stop bashing Apple real quick. All right, so JPMorgan acquires payments fintech to rival Stripe and Block. In an effort to stave off its fintech rivals, JPMorgan has acquired payments company Renovite. Through the acquisition, the cloud-native payments fintech will become part of JPMorgan Payments, combining corporate treasury services, trade finance, and card and merchant services capabilities. The bank said that the firm will speed up its ability to roll out new offerings to merchants. Although JPMorgan is the world's largest provider of merchant services by transaction volume, its fintech competitors, including Stripe and Block, are fast growing and approaching the top 10 acquirers in terms of volume. So listen, this is the playbook for larger companies. I mentioned this before. It was never explained explicitly to me, but You just see this happen all the time. But larger companies will buy a small competitor, invest in them, and just, buy them for their technology and then use them to compete with the existing. If they can't buy their competitor, they'll just buy some sort of, features that can compete with them. So they don't have to innovate on their own. So it's interesting. We'll see what happens with that. Apple Card's head of credit leaves for credit card startup X1. Oh, Cisco said Cal will have an iPhone in the future. We'll see. I always give it some serious consideration, but I never pull the trigger on that. Never do. You gotta listen. It's okay to be different. It's okay to use something different. I love seeing all these different form factors, flip phone, flip up, fold outs, all that stuff. We need that. Leon King said if Cal gets an iPhone in the future, he'll just be buying a phone from today. Yeah. F. David said X1 is kind of so-so. Yeah, let's get into that, how so-so they are. So Apple's head of credit for the Apple Card, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name, has left the company. I'll say this. Paba will join the California-based credit card company X1 beginning next week as a chief risk officer. In the past few years, there have been a string of exits from Goldman Sachs consumer business, which handles the lending and issuing parts of Apple Card. But defections from Apple's side have been less apparent. The tech giant's aim with the Apple Card isn't to generate revenue from strong lending decisions, but to make the iPhone more essential to its customers. The card is primarily accessed and managed through the iPhone. Okay, so it looks like the iPhone maybe like subsidized the Apple Card itself. They just want to get more people using Apple Pay in there. Because here's the thing, this is the interesting like plays that companies use. They're so massive and they have these multiple revenue streams. And so they can actually take a loss in one revenue stream just to take a big win, a big W in another one. So they'll just divert those funds into, and use it to build up another side. So it looks like Apple, what's most likely happening is that Apple Pay, they're able to charge a small percentage of each purchase that uses Apple Pay, which other banks don't like that. And the payment networks don't like that because they take a cut. But the more people they have on there, even though it's a small percentage, they're going to make a lot of money because millions and millions of people are using it. But let's talk about X1. I've been hearing like mixed reviews, just like F. Davis said, it's so. Let's see, you said, F. Davis said, got a big limit, but they need to work on some issues. Now, here's the thing. For one thing, this X1 card, you can't even see me here. I got to fix that. So the X1 card, it looks great. It looks great. But actually, let me fix this real quick. Okay, there we go. Trying to fix this in real time. All right, so I got one working. Bear with me here. So the X1 card looks great, but the problem I've been seeing is that it's not with the earning side, because it seems like it earns between 2 to 4% on all purchases. The problem is the redemption side, because it only has just a few like merchants. I think it's like 20 to 40 merchants that you can really redeem for. And here's the kicker. And this is where you have to dive into the details. You can only redeem for purchases that you can fully pay for. So if you have $20 in cash back and you're ready to use it on your next purchase, but your next purchase with like Nike, for example, is $100, you can't use the $20. You need at least $100 to use that purchase to cover the whole transaction. That's a big problem. And for the longest, it was a wait list. It was in like a beta form wait list for like a year and a half. Too long with that. I think it's ended the wait list recently. But the good redeeming quality of the X1 card is that they will give you, from reports of other people, a larger limit than normal, than other like consumer cards will. So that's a redeeming quality for the X1 card, and it looks great. I think we can all agree on that, right? There's no annual fee, and it's a metal card. Janika, I know you love metal cards, so that might be the one for you. So let's get to the next story here. Lease to own fintech startup Caffeine raises $18 million to battle buy now, pay later. So it's a brand new company to me here. Caffeine, a lease to own startup aimed at underbanked consumers who don't have access to traditional credit, raised an $18 million round and Series B funding. Many argue that buy now, pay later is just another form of debt, but packaged differently. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So they just described it. Rather, Caffeine's agreements, according to their CEO, are debt-free. Another way it differs is that buy now, pay later is often used for more nice-to-have purchases, while lease-to-own is primarily for must-have buys, like refrigerators or tires, for example. Essentially, Caffeine's model is based on the premise that at the point of sale, the prime consumer will probably go with buy now, pay later, while the subprime consumer doesn't have the credit score to do so, and would typically do lease to own as their alternative financial mechanism. That seems like a fair assessment, fair judgment. All right, so I want to talk about a story. This is the name of the whole stream. I just thought this was funny when I read it. This guy had his Apple Card stolen. Apple Card was stolen, y'all. He said, my credit card info was stolen. He then shut it down and a new card was sent out. He checked his app. He checked the Apple Wallet and the scammer was using his new card already. So the scammer used his old card, and before he could even use the new one, he already got in there spending his money all willy-nilly. They were using Apple Pay on their own phone with my new card before I even started. So I just thought that was just the idea of trying to, you know, you thought you're home free, you getting your new card, you finally solved the problem, and they're back again, right on you. So a few comments said, you know, I wager that they have access to your actual account. The card would not automatically update in the Apple Wallet. You know what I think? I think this was a case of a family member or a close friend that has access to their Apple ID and all that information. So I thought this was an interesting detail here, is that actually most issuers do update Apple Pay and other mobile wallets automatically when the physical card is lost or stolen. Amex does this for sure. The card issuer should be able to remove all mobile wallets upon request. So it seems like if you do have fraud happen and you need to replace your card, that the physical card will be replaced, and that's new. But anytime you like sign up and attach your card to a mobile wallet, that doesn't get refreshed. That mechanism still remains intact. So that linkage is still there. If anybody's done this, you correct me if I'm wrong there. Another person said, what you're looking for is a token reset. So maybe that's the legal, that's like the technical jargon. If you ask your bank to reset the token on your card, it should be he says it should be the default when fraud is reported, but many issuers only do it on request. So, you know, I would look into this if you had fraud happen on your card and you wanted to make sure that maybe you had your Apple Wallet or your Android Pay set up to like for recurring charges. Maybe reset that token or ask about, hey, is this still going to be linked to my mobile wallet so those charges don't continue? So next we have here the Chase Freedom Flex and Chase Freedom Standard 5% bonus categories in Q4 this year are Walmart and PayPal. I believe those are the same as last year, But I think these are decent. I will say this, I think that the Discover It card has better categories for Q4 because I think it's mobile wallets and Amazon. I think those are two, like, unless you shop at Walmart for groceries, then Walmart's going to be great. But you know, mobile wallets can be used in far more places than PayPal can. You can use a mobile wallet in most stores at this point. So, listen, I don't have a Freedom Flex. I know, a lot of people love Chase, but Discover It, I think got it beat on the categories in Q4. I've been using the Discover It like crazy recently, by the way, because they had 5% back in PayPal, and I forget the other category. It was another good category, but I've been using like crazy with eBay and stuff and buying things, so it's great to get that. Danny, thank you, sir. I'm looking forward to Q4 for Discover. Yeah, I know you have a Discover card too. So, is it in a? Did you get that one in a purple, just like your iPhone? Is that your thing? Like your favorite color, purple? Because I know you can change up the color. I got mine in gold. All right. Also, guys, if you didn't yet, check out my website. I have all the links to any credit card that you want if you're in the market. Also, I have some really good links I can actually show you. Hey, let me take you there. Let me show you what's up. I have some, I think, some helpful links in here. Let me just give you a little tour. Boom. Here's the site. You can have access to specific cards and also card categories. These are the wallets I use. And if you need an upgrade link for your Quicksilver card, then here it is. I have it here. And then I actually posted a link for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So if you don't know, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was established like in 2009 or something like that. They kind of regulate and keep the banks in line with any credit products. And you can actually issue complaints. So if you have a problem with your credit card company, it's a good course of action. You can just go, you can hit that link. I have one right here. Go to CFPB, file a complaint, see if that changes something. You know, it's good to have a course of action, some sort of recourse if they do you wrong. They do you dirty, they lower your credit limit, something like that. It's good to have access to that. So guys, I want to know about your wins here. What did you do over the week? Did you get any credit limit increases? Did you get any approvals? Hopefully you didn't go through Credit Karma, because Credit Karma will, and I think we should discuss that. There's some updates with that situation. So if you don't know, and I know I spoke to someone over the course of the week that was asking about what's going on with Credit Karma. Well, the too long don't read version is that Credit Karma kind of lured people in by sending emails out to people on this newsletter saying, hey, you're pre-approved. Hey, come get your car. It's ready here waiting for you. I got you pre-approved. And you applied for that card and then you were denied. And you said, how can I be denied? I was pre-approved. Well, you weren't actually pre-approved. They just used that to lure you in to get you to apply so that they could get a kickback. So there was a complaint initially with the FTC, and then they filed for a $3 million settlement. And so they're still working out the way that they're going to administer that $3 million settlement. A lot of you feel like it should have been higher. And so there's a lot of kind of resentment for Credit Karma, a lot of bad blood there. Gustavo said, Discover is so underrated. I'm happy to see it get some love here. Okay. You feel like this? I feel like Discover gets a pretty adequate amount of love. I don't see too many people downplaying Discover, but listen, I like Discover. I like, that's why I have it on my recent list for best cars to grow with you, because not only will it competes with the Apple Card with allowing people to get approved for it. They offer you a secure version, which you can, offers you a pathway to get that unsecure version. And then at least if you spend on the card, they'll reward you with actually giving you increases. So you can't be mad at that. It's more of a starter card. But a lot of people like to downplay starter cards just because they feel like they're better than. But listen, everybody's got to start somewhere. Shanika said, I got the Discover Gold too. All right. I just saw it, just stood out to me. I had to get the Gold version. They can offer you like 20 different. I think more card issuers need to offer that ability for you to just customize it. I think that would be, people would really like that. Richard, I'm just seeing your post here. You said City Custom Cash sent out a notice expanding the categories for the fourth quarter. I was not aware of this. Thank you for letting me know. What new categories are they adding? Because I have 2 City Custom Cash cards. Whoa, Sin96, you said FNBO lowered my limit by $3,000. Only had the car for 6 months, never late. I was trying to take advantage of the 0% for 12 months. They lowered it just above my current balance, put me at a 95% utilization. Listen, yo, Sin, you read my mind, because I'm actually researching this exact topic for my next video. This is exactly what you said, and how they can do that to you. Any card issuer can do that to you. And the thing is, when you're facing a recession potentially, in harsh economic times, they will pull back and rein in that available credit limit, just to, to mitigate any risk that they have out on their books. So they're going to try to lower that risk down, and that's really unfortunate that that's a common practice, and it's completely allowed. How do you think that it should be illegal? I asked that question, should it be illegal? And most of you said yes, it should be illegal. Our Fantastic Life, you said, hey, looking to add another card in October. What would you rather have? Discover it with 5% cash back on mobile wallet purchases, or $300 welcome bonus from the Wells Fargo autograph card? Listen, without even doing the math, I think you're going to win out with that $300 bonus. It's hard to ever beat a sign-up bonus. If you're just looking at sign-up bonuses, then it's going to be hard to eclipse that. I have the autograph card, so I like it. I actually have it in my wallet. That's a big bonus. The typical bonus is like $200. 300 is great. And then plus you get like 6 3% categories, and there's no foreign transaction fees, and it secretly is metal. So yeah, I'm gonna go on that with that versus I'm gonna go with the autograph card. F Davis, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you. F Davis coming through. Support Cal. Jones said, I think I'm going to apply for Discover soon. Which bureau do they pull from again? I just got the NFCU Amex. All right. I can't recall at the moment. Maybe someone can, and there's a lot of people knowledgeable on this topic. Maybe someone can help you in the chat. She said, love the Cal family. Do we have another platform or something we all could communicate? Well, I'll say this. I do have a Discord chat. I haven't been using it much lately, but if there's people in there commenting, and I'm always available there on my Discord. If you go to my website, I have links to every platform that I'm on. So I guess for communication purposes, Discord would be great. If an alternative would be Yeah, I think that for like a, you know, for the community as a whole, I do communicate a lot with my channel members as well. We kind of, you know, on a weekly basis, we will talk on my community page on YouTube as well. Raul said we need a Discord. Hey, there's listen, literally there is already a Discord. If you go to my website, and I can even post a link to it. It's already made, and I have like 10 or 12 people there already. So that's if you ever want to chat, you know, just post a message, and that would be awesome. Danny Torres said, Cal, what card do you think is best for a high credit limit with no annual fee? All right. For a high credit limit, let's see, if you're talking about a card that will, let's see, for a high credit limit. Now, what is your credit score? What credit score would we be working with in this scenario? Because there's a good amount of options, really. You know, if you want to go the credit union route, that's going to be, I know some credit unions like the Dover Federal Credit Union offering $20,000 for me, and I'm sure it would be pretty high for anyone else. But PenFed is great. Navy Federal is great for high credit limits. If you're on the consumer side, like the standard bank side, then Discover It will grow with you. They'll give you a good starting limit as well. Yeah. Yeah, and then also, yeah. Oh, ESJ, what's up, buddy? You said Amex Blue Cash every day. Yeah, so that's another one. If you start, the Amex cards have what they call the 3x increase. So it's a standard for them to basically triple your limit whenever you're up for a credit limit increase. So you can actually, if you have a $2,000 starting limit, you can ask for $6,000, and they're pretty much, you know, it's like a given that they'll give you $6,000. Oh, Joan said, yes, sir, $25,000. What car was that on, Joan? Yeah, I'm gonna give you some confetti too. Oh. Nice job. $25K, that's higher than anything I got, honestly. $25,000 is basically where most cars max out. I said this before for Nino. Rager Hoskin, what's up? You said I got the Bread Cashback Rewards card, which is an American Express branded card, and they have excellent cashback points. You know, I've heard of Bread. I think I've been to their website once or twice. I'm not too familiar with their limits. I'm sorry, or their rewards, I should say. So Dark Dude said, Cal, did you move forward with the Dover Credit Union for 20K? No, I didn't. You know, once I saw on the forums that they were actually like really vetting people, like they were going in and asking for like, you know, 2 years W-2s, and, you know, they want to have access to your bank account. I said, that's a little too much, because honestly, I'm not going to use another 2% card. I already have, you know, I already use my SoFi card a ton. That's my, you know, primary bank. And then I have, you know, PayPal cashback card and other alternatives that give me that same rewards. So I decided against it. EHJ, thank you, sir. Man, thank you. He said, hope all is well, safe and blessed with you and the fam. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel. Cisco A, what's up? You said PenFed or Citi? Looking for another card. Would love for one to pull from Equifax. I think, let's see. The only Citi cards I have I have 2 custom cash cards at this point. I would say PenFed is good for high limits. Citi is going to be good. If you want, I'm only looking at the custom cash card. I just used it today to go grocery shopping. I think it's great. So personally, I would go with Citi. But listen, it depends on what you want. If you want to have a great bank, it's gonna be, gonna have a lot of other products like the personal line of credit and other things, the car loans, and you want to get into like family, then PenFed is gonna be great. They're gonna give you super high limits and quickly. Yeah, so guys, I want to tell you about my quickly next video is going to be on why banks, I think that the working title is your credit limit could drop by 75%. So it's a little scary. It's getting a little scary. But it's going to really speak to what this gentleman said earlier. And he spoke about his credit limit dropping to just above his available limit. And that can hurt people's score, and it can leave people without access to credit if they use it for an emergency fund, which a lot of you I know see. And we should probably discuss that as well. I asked you guys about the emergency fund. Oh, Joan, I just want to say before we get into that, Joan, thank you. Thank you, Joan. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before, but I appreciate you being here. And I thank you for the super chat. So what do you, I asked you guys in a poll. I'm not, if I remember correctly, that what do you use as an emergency fund? Maybe I should just go ahead and pull it up at this point. But 30% of people said that they use credit cards as an emergency fund. What do you think about that? I should probably poll you guys. Oh, listen, I can't find it. What do you think about that? F. Davis said, I got an emergency fund. So you got your own stash in a savings account somewhere. Cheryl says, I use my credit union personal line of credit. Those can be massive too. Louis Enrique said, I just got approved for the JetBlue Plus card. 10,000 credit limit. Okay, $10,000 limit. That's awesome. $80,000 point sign-up bonus and annual fee waived for first year. What do you think about that card? I actually saw JetBlue in a headline. I can't exactly recall. They were doing something new with their JetBlue card. I wish I could recall right now, but I'm not too familiar. I don't. Honestly, I don't focus on the rewards cards too much. I'm still kind of getting more into that lane, so I can't give you a real honest opinion on that. But listen, congratulations on the card, getting approved for that. 10,000 is a big deal, right? Sin said, so much for taking advantage of the 0% for 12 months when they lowered my limit. Yeah, they're pretty much telling you, hey, we're kind of done. Like you're kind of, we don't care if you leave. Like if you do that to one of your card holders, aren't you expecting them to pay off that small balance and just like cancel the card at that point? That's got to be super frustrating, because I'm going to talk about this in the video where you go to sleep one night and then wake up in the morning and like you go to sleep with like a $10,000 limit, and then you wake up with a $2,000 limit or a $500 limit. That's got to be like jarring, you know? Guys, if you can, like the stream for me. You did such a great job. I'm almost at 30 likes so far. That's amazing. I appreciate that. Can we hit 30 likes? Likes are free. It doesn't cost a dime. Thank you. Thank you. Whoever was number 30, appreciate it. So, guys, I do this every Sunday at 7 p.m. So I'll be back next Sunday with another credit card news live stream. Thank you for joining the discussion. And everybody, have a great night. All right.